guys, Marlyn with Beautiful Beana Designs. Welcome to my brand new series, which I'm calling Meet Me at Tuesday Morning. This is episode 1, part 2. If you are interested in details on the materials that I pulled in to create my cards for this video, I did share that in the part 1 video for this episode. I will link that below. Near the end of this video, I will also show you guys what I had left. So basically, if you haven't heard me talk about Meet Me at Tuesday Morning previously, the point of it is card making on a budget. I asked you guys what you wanted to see, and many of you came back and said that you enjoyed some of the videos I did where I used budget products, value products, but still got stellar results. Like, we're not talking about crafting with junk, we're just talking about crafting with sort of a frugal mind. So for this series, I buy a lot of my stuff from Tuesday Morning, not all of it. This episode is Lake Life is the Best. I bought this $2 paper pack, and it is sort of the center of many of my cards. Today I'm going to be sharing 15 cards with you. And that includes one card fail, you guys. One card fail. But I think that there's something to my idea for this card. So we're going to talk about that a little bit, and maybe you guys can even give me some feedback and advice. Finally, I did take some process video as I was making these cards. And I haven't looked at it yet. I haven't edited anything, but I will probably share some of that at the very end of this video. So we'll do the card share, we'll talk about remaining supplies, and then any process video I share will be at the very end. So if you're interested, stick around. If you just want the card share, that's totally cool too. One other thing I'd like to point out, I mentioned in the materials share video, the part 1 of this video, that I spent about $20 at Tuesday Morning for all of the materials that I shared with you guys, and I thought I'd probably have about half of it left. In fact, I have way more than half of the cards left. As I mentioned, I made 15 cards. I could have easily gone on. I could have easily made 20, even more. But if truth be told, I was kind of interested and ready to move on to a new creative venture and use different supplies. So I worked with this. This isn't really a kit. I sort of created my own kit. But I worked with these supplies for several days. I had a lot of fun, happy with the results, and was ready to move on. So speaking of moving on, let's get into the card share. Here are some of the cards that I created, with the main focus being that Lake Life is Best paper set. Here we're using the patterned paper, and this was a lot of fun for me because patterned paper and stickers are not my go-to. I love stamping, I love heat embossing, I love dry embossing, and I love die cutting. I did very little of that for all of these cards. I die cut a lot of the patterned papers, you know, with my, this is the wonky rectangle, and then I use some of my dotted rectangles. This is just a straight rectangle. But yeah, it was a little bit outside of my norm. It was a lot of fun. I used vintage photo distress ink. I thought it complemented this patterned paper 6x6 book. The 6x6 pad, I thought it complemented it very well. I did buy these wood veneers, background this one in gold. But hello wonderful, there is card number 1. For card number 2, the lake is my happy place, and again, patterned paper, sequins, minimal die cutting. And I thought these, I mean, they're kind of lake themed, so it's not like they're birthday cards, but I thought they could be great as we're having summer fun right now for most of us, or many of us, I should say. In the US, most everywhere, it's warm and we're enjoying the weather. I thought maybe if you were going to the lake with somebody, or if you had just been at the lake, or maybe you're at the lake and you're thinking of you, or you know, it was great fun spending time with you at the lake, even if it was just a day, even if it was just a fishing trip or whatever. I thought that these could come in handy. So the lake is my happy place. Here we're using one of those metal charms, and this is the back. This is the logo for Snap, but I kind of thought it was fun because of a photo, and it says Snap Sunshiny Days. Here I used some of the gold, and I think, are they Sundust Gold? I'm sorry, you guys, I don't have them in front of me, but Honey Gold. I think they're Honey Gold Nouveau glitter drops. I used a bunch of those on many of these cards, including this one, Snap Sunshiny Days. Again, those patterned papers. These were easy cards to put together, the patterned papers ones. If I'm being honest, this is probably my least favorite card. It was also my first card, so we're going to call this a warm-up. But enjoy, sit back, relax. Here I used Morning Dew Nouveau drops. The one thing I loved about this card was how those Morning Dew Nouveau drops looked. From here on, whenever I'm doing any kind of a water card, I am going to keep these Morning Dew drops in mind because they really look fun. They look like little drops of water. They're really pretty. I used Seafoam Spritz on the background here, and that was not something I picked up at Tuesday Morning. It was something from my stash, but really you could have used anything to color that. Ink blending, water-based markers, anything. So there's card number 4. Card number 5, I used one of those wood veneer dolphins. Lots of sparkle on this one. A sticker, if you want to know how much I love you, count all the waves in the sea. Some sequins and some more of those Honey Gold Nouveau glitter drops. And I sure hope I'm getting that name right. For a little added touch, I sort of inlaid that onto the back of the card so that even when you open it, that sparkle, that dolphin, and that sentiment are there. Lake Life is Best. This is the title sheet for that 6x6 paper pad. This one I thought I'd keep quite masculine, and so I did not add what we call finishing touches. No bling, no glitter, no glitz. I did matte this patterned paper on some brown cardstock, and I added it. You will see these embossed craft colored card bases throughout the video. That is something I picked up at Tuesday Morning. I also pulled in some white card bases from my stash, but Lake Life is Best. This one's cute. A Day at the Lake Restores the Soul. Some more of those wood veneers popped up this panel, used several of the patterned papers. Again, those Morning Dew Nouveau drops and some ink blending to add interest to the background. Now we're moving away from the lake for now and into some of the summer cards using some of the other materials. So I did pull in patterned paper for some of these, but I also had these flamingo paper clips. I had some ephemera, including this Enjoy the Sun piece here. Some acrylic pieces that you'll see in a moment, all kinds of fun stuff. But this one here, Enjoy the Sun. I added the paper clip, I popped this up. These are 2 patterned papers from that 6x6 pad, and then some gold glitter enamel dots and some pink pearl enamel dots. Enjoy the Sun. Having a Ball. This uses several pieces of the ephemera, glittery acrylic stars, and that acrylic flamingo. I have always loved flamingos, and they're super trendy right now, so that's a lot of fun. I pulled in some ribbon that I already had on hand, part of my stash, added some vellum, and then you see here the White Blizzard Nouveau glitter drops. I also took my Wink of Stella pen and added some shimmer right over that Having a Ball on the ephemera. This one's a lot of fun. Life is Better in Flip-Flops, XOXO. I really enjoyed this one. I used a card base from my stash that was kind of a coral that complemented this bit of ephemera, this Flip-Flops ephemera. I used, of course, some sequins here. And then all the gold you see was white paper that I simply heat embossed with gold embossing powder. I really do like the way this one came out. It's really cute. There's another card. And we're getting near the end here. I've got my favorite 4 left to go. So I've got 3 that are kind of in a theme. This one may be my absolute favorite though. Soak Up the Sun. I added a lot of gold elements. This vellum circle in the background, I drew lines across it, just jagged, rugged lines, not straight by any means, just kind of sketched them on there. Used gold embossing powder to add that gold glitz, and then I also gold embossed the edge of this Soak Up the Sun piece of ephemera, added those leaves back there, a gold element. This was actually a clip, and as I was messing with it, it broke. It was a happy accident because this piece of gold, I wonder if I could show you one of the clips. This is the rest of it. I put the package away, but this is what broke off. So it had this little clip, sort of like a cross between a hair clip and a paper clip, but that was there, and I really went back and forth on whether or not to include it. But at the end of the day, I really just liked that gold, more rugged sort of elemental basic look. I really do like this card very much. Soak Up the Sun. And then I left just a little bit of white peeking through on either side. And then these are the three that are kind of a set, and I love these. So these were some ephemera that I actually bought for my son Max. He's 7. He's appeared in one of my videos, and actually he's been asking me if we can make another one. So you guys will probably be seeing him again soon. But I bought some ephemera for him to craft with and mess around with. And actually Michael's was having some clearance sale, and I just bought him a bunch of stuff, including this packet of gold accented summery stock elements. And there were like 20 pieces, 5 different designs. I asked him if I could have one of each. These leaves were also in the kit, and I made these 3 cards with the other pieces. This hummingbird, You Are Beautiful, with a little bit of that basil diamond cardstock, and then a few gold embellishments. For the tortoise here, we have Keep Moving Forward. I really liked the idea of that. And actually, I do need to trim the excess off of here. So I see that I missed that on these 2 cards, but I will trim that so it fits in the A2 envelope. It kind of looks super cute just hanging off, but it will not fit in the envelope like this. Keep Moving Forward is the tortoise. And then for the flamingo, we have Hello Gorgeous. These cards came together, as you would imagine, these cards came together really quickly and really easily, but I just love the way that they turned out. So those are 14 of my 15, and as promised, here is my card fail. So you guys, I had a vision for this as I was going through the patterned papers about midway through my creating with these materials that I picked up at Tuesday morning. I had a vision. I saw this Go Jump in the Lake. And I just thought that would be a lot of fun because it would be a sarcastic, like, go jump in the lake. But then you open it and it's clearly sort of a relax, enjoy summer kind of a message. And I wanted to do a trifold kind of thing. And as I was experimenting with it and messing with it, it just did not work. So I feel like my first shaker card that I ever made was an absolute mess, and I compared that to pancakes. Like, the first one you make is always a throwaway, and I feel that way about this card. But I feel like this was a good idea, like a good concept. The basic concept was good, and my execution was poor. But I'm going to take this idea and I'm going to make another card really soon. But I'll show you guys kind of so you can see my concept. And maybe you can even throw a couple tips my way. Maybe you guys have some ideas that would make this work better. So originally I was going to have these front folds, these front flaps overlap, but I used 110-pound cardstock for this card base, and then I added paper, patterned paper, and this is a pretty thick patterned paper, to the outside and the inside. This all got very thick. I couldn't even get it to stay together. So I trimmed the top piece so that there was no overlap, and still, you know how that kind of flaps open, it really wouldn't stay closed. At that point, I added this clip. I don't know, it was like every time I hit an obstacle, I came up with a way of overcoming it, but then it just became too complicated and the whole card basically just went sideways. But anyway, to show you what my idea and my concept was, here's the front where you don't really know exactly what you're looking at on the top, but it says Go Jump in the Lake. And then when you open it up, a day at the lake restores the soul. Message here, happy day. You've got this beautiful lake with that canoe, very serene. And then over here, a place for the message. So again, I kind of do like the concept of this, but I don't know, I overcomplicate it. So you guys, you weigh in, let me know what you think. But that counts as card number 15. I want to share with you guys a little bit the products that I had left over. As I mentioned, I spent about $20 at Tuesday morning. I used a few things from my stash, really not a lot. I tried to see what we could do crafting on a budget. I do also want to mention this video series is not about Tuesday morning. It's not about using these supplies. It's really just about creating and enjoying our hobby in whatever sort of whatever our budget is, staying within that budget. Sometimes I feel like we get carried away. We feel like we got to have the latest, the greatest. We want to buy, you know, every stamp set we see and every patterned paper we see. And I get it because it's fun to shop around and do all of that. But I do feel like it's also not really totally necessary. We can use what we have or buy some budget products. And really that's the message I'm trying to get across is use what you have. Whatever your budget is monthly for crafting, you know, buy a little bit here and there. I made 15 cards with $20 worth of materials plus minimal from my stash. I could have easily gone forward, as I mentioned earlier, and made a ton more. So let me show you a little bit what I have left. Again, if you want to see what I started with, I'll post that link below in the description. But I started with this Lake Life is Best 6x6 paper pad that I showed you guys earlier. It was $2. I still have all these scraps left. And yes, I'm really going to hang on to these scraps because you never know, right? Who knows? Maybe I'll decide I want to make a bunch more cards. And then I still have half the papers, even after all of these cards that I made. I still have all but one of these, all but one of the metal elements. I used one or two of these summer phrase stickers. I have about half of this ephemera pack left. I used one of these stickers. I love these wood veneers. I used a good half of that package. And then I have 2/3 of the flamingo and more than that, almost all of the acrylic glitter stars left. So I have all that left. I've got a few more of these clips left. To store these away as summer and summer embellishments and pull them back out, keep them together, pull them back out when I'm doing some more summer projects. When I almost forgot these gold phrases, I really enjoyed using these. These were only $1.50, and even though I used them on probably half of my cards, I still have 90% of them left. I barely scratched the surface. So definitely a lot more cards can be made with what I have here. You guys, we're going to have coming up here probably some of the process video that I made. Again, I haven't edited it. Hope I have something to share with you. But before I move on to that, I do want to take a second to thank you for visiting with me. I do hope that you have enjoyed my card share. Let me know what you think of this Meet Me at Tuesday Morning series. Do you like it? Do you like the sort of main point of it, which is use what you have, craft on a budget, just have fun with our hobby, and don't worry too much about buying all of the latest and greatest. Also, some people had said they like the idea of being able to get things locally, so let me know if you have a Tuesday morning near you. I'd be interested to know more about that. At the end of the day, I hope that you guys did enjoy the time that you spent with me. I hope I've inspired you to make beautiful things. Okay, you guys, here's my process video. I'm going to share 3 cards in just under 12 minutes. If you'd like to hang out and watch, that's cool. If you'd prefer to just see some still photos of the cards, I have included those at the end of this video. Fast forward to about the last minute, you'll be able to catch those. So I am showing you here my process. It's sped up to 3 times my speed I was actually working, and it's edited. You guys, I love to watch process videos, and I am so impressed by those crafters who have like 4 things on their desk and they're like, here's step 1, here's step 2, here's step 3. I don't know if they practice. If they practice, that's awesome. I don't know if they're just that good where they just know what needs to go where. That's even more awesome. For me, I have a little bit of a different crafting style, and my crafting style is kind of throw spaghetti at the wall and hope for the best. I've got so much stuff on my craft desk. I don't know what I'm going to do next. I'm trying to figure it out. Just there you saw me rooting through my patterned paper pad, trying to figure out what would look nice. I cut things down and then I die cut them because I'm not sure where I'm going. I do all of this in real time. This is real life. I love to craft. This is, for me, peaceful. And I just enjoy the process of it. So I don't overthink it, and I don't typically practice. Every once in a while I'll put together a card before I share it with you guys. Like when I do my create a fast and easy card set, I do put those together before I share with you. We create one together. That's practiced. I know what I'm doing. But most of the time I do card shares because I don't know what I'm doing. I just jump in. I take all the materials. A lot of the times when I work with card kits, I will create just a ton of elements at the very onset of my crafting experience with that kit, I guess, for lack of a better way to say it. And I don't know what I'm going to use and what I'm not going to use. And I sit down at my desk with just everything like you see here, and I figure it out. And for me, that's the fun part. But here, diving into a little bit what you're seeing, this is my Enjoy the Sun card. And as I worked with it and decided what I wanted to use, I pulled a lot of different elements onto the table. Here I'm about to test out some Nuvo drops to see if I wanted to add those as final touches to this card. Those pearl stickers, those pale pearl stickers by Jot that you see there on the screen, I got those at Dollar Tree. Those were $1, and I don't even know how many's in the package. It's gigantic. But I ultimately decided to use those along with some of those gold glitter enamel dots that I picked up from Tuesday morning that I told you about in part 1 of this episode. And here I am just working through the process. Where do I want to put everything right now? I am using some of my fun foam to pop up that Fun in the Sun panel. And you see here I cut around the paper clip, but then I will cut a little piece of foam to stick in there inside the paper clip to make sure that it stays in place. I add a little bit of my liquid adhesive to ensure, I'm thinking I kind of squeeze it under the paper clip, and once it dries, I think it will hold everything in place quite well. The liquid adhesive I use throughout this video is Ranger Multi-Medium Matte. That is my go-to liquid adhesive. And pretty much whenever you see me using liquid adhesive in any of my videos to date, that is what I am using. You will see here that I'm using a Cricut pick to place my enamel dots and the pearls, even though I have my Spellbinders all-in-one tool right beside me on my desk. I love both tools, but the Cricut pick I will use more when it's kind of down and dirty, if I'm going to get adhesive all over the place, when I am placing enamel dots, that kind of thing, or when I'm peeling release paper off of adhesive like double-sided tape. I'll use that Cricut pick because I don't care if it gets sticky. My all-in-one tool I use a lot to paper pierce, and as you saw me earlier poking out, I used dotted rectangle, and I use that Spellbinders all-in-one tool. It's always on my desk. I use that to poke out the dots along the edge. When I use those dotted rectangle dies, I use those a lot, and I don't want to forget to clean my all-in-one tool. It's steel, it cleans up great, but I like to always have it ready. So Here we are now moving into card number 2. I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do, and just by luck, we wound up making, or I wound up recording, I guess, some of my favorite cards that I made as part of this episode. Here I put some of my double-sided tape runner on that Basil Diamond cardstock and tried to adhere it to the embossed card base. It just didn't take. There wasn't enough surface for it to stick to. So I added some liquid adhesive again, the Ranger Multimedia Matte. Now I'm going in with those gold cardstock sentiments, trying to decide what I want to add to this card as far as the sentiment goes. These 3 that I created, similar to the hummingbird card you see now, were my absolute favorites from the 15 that I shared in this video. They are so simple. They were easy to create, but I think they're pretty, I think they're fun, and I think they'll be very easy to use. There's always going to be a reason to say you are beautiful, or keep moving forward, or hello gorgeous. Those are great cards to have for sharing with my friends. So here I am now adhering that hummingbird down. And shortly you're going to see me adding some embellishments. So I think I edited this part out of the video, but I had no idea how to dress up these cards. I didn't have anything from my Tuesday morning stash that matched just perfectly. So I actually went into my craft room stash. I pulled out an entire drawer of gems, and here you see some gold colored studs. I just pulled out a bunch of stuff, held it up against the card, decided what I wanted to use, and here I'm going now in with my Cricut pick again, and I am adding some of those gold studs. And I think that gold and just that shine, that elegance, I really do enjoy these cards that I made. There was a hummingbird, a turtle, it was a tortoise actually, and no, it was a sea turtle. I called it a tortoise earlier. It's a sea turtle, and a flamingo. And the funny part is I grabbed those out of my 7-year-old son's stash. I had bought him a bunch of crafting materials that were on clearance just so he could have some fun, and that package of ephemera came with 20 pieces. I mentioned this earlier, but came with 20 pieces, so I grabbed one of each, which gave me 5 pieces. And I used all of them as part of this value/budget card making video, my first episode of Meet Me at Tuesday Morning. Here we're moving into the 3rd card, and I really wanted to introduce more gold into this. So on that Soak Up the Sun piece of ephemera, I did take my Ranger embossing ink pad and just sort of scrape it along the edges of that cardstock ephemera, and then emboss it with gold embossing powder. Next, I took this vellum circle, grabbed my Ranger Emboss It pen, and as you can see, I just sketched out some very purposely sloppy lines. I really wanted it to have a lot of design. I didn't want it to be all straight and look like a pattern. I wanted it to be a little bit more organic to match up well with those leaves, which also have some gold accents. Once I made this circle, I really liked it, and it was a little bit difficult to cover it up with those leaves. Here I am cleaning up my work surface. Nobody wants to miss that, so I left it in, I guess. And here I am trying to decide exactly how I want to place this circle, because I want to make sure that a decent amount of it peeks out. And once I figure that I have it in a great spot there, I do like that it's up at the top as well as off to the right side, I grab these clips. I found one that I liked a lot, but I wanted to take it off of the clip itself. when I attempted to do that, the enamel bead fell off of the base. I wasn't intending for that to happen. I thought that the enamel bead matched this card quite well, but it turned out to be a happy accident because that gold accent, I felt like after going back and forth, and I think I'm not even done going back and forth, the gold accent looked even better than the complete piece with that enamel dot. So you just saw me poke some of the glue out of the filigree setting because there was like sort of glue gun glue stuck in that. So I just got rid of that. Here I am gluing down those leaves. They were previously held together with some double-sided adhesive. I'll be taking that off in just a moment and then adding the additional elements. Here I think I'm going to go back and forth again with that enamel dot. Am I sure I don't want it? Do I want it? Do I not want it? It's never easy on us, is it, crafters? But ultimately I decide that I like that gold by itself without the enamel dot, and that's how I adhere it down. Now, I had told you guys previously that I use every bit of my fun foam, and that is the truth. I recently purchased some white foam without any adhesive on it at all, and I use every bit of that as well. With my fun foam, I bought a package of multicolor, and I just plowed through the white and the black. So I went ahead and ordered some white without the adhesive, and I just used my double-sided tape runner. It works perfectly great. So here I'm just about to finish up card number 3 as far as this process video goes. I only recorded the 3 of them. If you guys have any questions, suggestions, you want to know about products, you want to give me some great tips, please leave a comment below. I love to hear from you. Here's a picture of each of the cards that I shared with you today. As always, I will also share them on Instagram and my Facebook page. I'll link those below. I hope that you guys will come over there, check me out as well, and follow, like, whatever, just become a member of my community. And I especially enjoy it when you guys connect with me on Facebook, because you can post there and share with me some of the things you're making. So please do that. Talk to you soon. Take care, and bye-bye.